Welcome to the Dirt Time channel. I'm Alan Halcon.
I'm Dude McLean.
And I'm Christopher Nergus.
And today Dude's going to talk to us about parched corn.
Parched corn.
Parched corn. Parched corn is an old staple. And something that's been kind of lost, I believe, with modern people.
I don't know anybody that carries parched corn.
Yeah, you will now.
Okay.
Parched corn has a very long history. This has been used, goes back several hundred years, probably several thousand years.
Probably several thousand, yeah.
And so what you do, the big mystery about making parched corn, you get dried corn. You can dry it yourself on a corn cob. Preferably get sweet corn. You'll put your way ahead of the game.
So you could grow it yourself, shell it,
Yes.
or shuck it, whatever they say,
That's
and then dry it, and then do
Right.
this.
So if someone had like the canned corn, can they like drain it and then
You could
dry
do
it?
that too.
Okay. Because that's probably more available to a lot of people than corn on the cob. Well, no, I guess you can just go buy
You
corn
can
on the
actually
cob.
buy it in a store, Alan.
Yeah, I've seen. Well, okay, whatever. But
I'm
Alan's-
sorry, I
he's
just
a
like
city,
that process stuff.
Right.
City
Okay.
boy.
So what we do is we heat the pan up. We take some of the corn. This is already parched.
Now you're adding
obviously.
oil or butter
You don't have
to
to
the pan?
oil it. You have to do
Okay,
anything. Just
okay.
put it in there, and and you keep it going. You don't want to really burn it.
You don't want it to pop, obviously.
It won't pop.
It won't pop. Okay.
Yeah, that's a different kind of corn.
Oh, okay.
That's popcorn.
And
I thought all corn will pop.
well, some of them will, but you don't want to take it that far. I've never had this kind of corn pop.
Okay.
So you take this and you just move it around in the pan, and you'll look at it. It doesn't look like very much, okay? Then when you're done with that, you're taking port and anything you're going to crush it with.
So you're more or less caramelizing it or browning the outer layer?
Yeah. So you want to. It's going to cook all the way through really
Okay,
fast.
all right.
Okay, you can eat it just like this. All right. Then you don't have to use a, what do you call this? Stone
It's actually
thing.
really
It's
good.
a molcajete and a stone.
Yeah. Now you crush it. Okay. And it doesn't take much effort to crush this stuff.
This
Yeah.
stuff is good.
It is tasty.
So now I've added to this one. I added a little bit of salt
Yeah, it's
already
good.
to it. Okay. You don't have to do that. You can make it just like this.
Now, why would you crush it? What's the whole purpose behind
The
crushing
whole purpose of crushing it. This is just a little bit right here. Okay.
it? Okay.
Now, if you're short on food, and I've done this when I've done treks and so on and been out by myself, what you see right here will last me all day if I had nothing else to eat.
But Alan was asking why crush it versus just chew on it
Right.
whole.
Because this will take, what we're going to do here, you take about this much and you eat it all at once and drink 8 ounces, 12 ounces of water. This will swell in your stomach.
Whereas the whole thing won't swell
The
quite
whole
as
thing, they
readily.
won't. They won't. You have to eat too much. You
I
can't
see.
eat all that this way. This is a down and dirty way to do it. This is very nutritious. What I add to it,
So if you're like a guy living under a freeway overpass and you don't have a lot of money,
you can do this.
you could take a little bit of this and it'll swell
Yeah.
up and you'll have fooled your body that you had more food.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So this is maple sugar.
I thought that was soap.
Yeah, it's not. Well, you can use it as soap if you want to, but you'll be very sweet.
Wow, that'd be a change.
Yeah, that'll be a change. And I take and I scrape this off with a knife.
Where do you get the maple sugar like
You
that?
can get this from many reenactor sites.
Okay.
And I prefer the maple sugar. It has a it's not processed the way that white sugar is.
Okay. You prefer the maple syrup to what? Over what?
To any other kind of sugar.
Like honey or
Or
white
brown
sugar?
Well,
sugar.
honey won't work well with this.
Okay.
It'll just glom it up. Anyway, so once you take that drink of water, you don't want to eat anything else, and you really don't want to take any more than the amount that I showed you, because you will get a stomach ache.
In other words, this amount for a meal,
That amount for a meal.
which is like, what, 3 tablespoons maybe?
Not even that much.
Okay.
Not
How
even
many
that.
calories do you figure there is in that?
I don't know. I don't know how many. All I know is that
It swells up in your
it
stomach.
swells up in your stomach. You feel satisfied. You're not hungry, and the corn is so nutritious that it's documented that there are people who have had nothing but this fixed in this manner for up to 3 months, and they've had no ill physical effects.
Wow.
Okay, that's pretty amazing.
Corn
This
is-
will keep you going.
Yeah.
Well, they used to see these Indian guys, and they'd be walking along, and all they had with them was this amount of corn. That was it. That would last them for a month.
Huh.
Now, as you go along and learn how to supplement this, you can get wild critters. There's food you can get, wild plants you can eat. This will save you on the trail.
So it sounds to me like having parched corn is really a good way to get into ultralight if you really want to go.
This
that
is really
extreme.
ultralight. Yes, you could carry a quarter pound, a half pound. How much you think that weighs?
This is just a few ounces.
Yeah, yeah. It's not very heavy.
So in other words, if people change their eating habits, listened to Father Dude, right, and Grandfather Dude, there would be no hunger issue in the entire world.
No,
if there was corn.
If there was corn, people can grow.
This is why
we grow
corn is grown.
that was pretty corny, Christopher. By the way.
No, it's true though. If you have non-GMO corn, have traditional corn. There's probably way more food in the world than there are people. We just use it. Look what we do with the food products today.
No, you're absolutely right.
Well, instead of going and buying all of these trail foods that are very expensive if you go someplace, if you're a hiker, we are not hikers per se. You know, we don't do that.
Yeah, we're not going 5, 10, 15, 20 miles a day. That's not what we enjoy doing.
When you're out on the ocean, you do something like that, don't you?
Yeah, but you're
You're
floating.
fishing and you're floating. And
Yeah,
that's
but
true.
you know, we really don't follow trails. We might follow a game trail with what we do. We might bust through the bush with what we do, but we're not hikers per se. But if you are a hiker, if you're not a hiker, if you just want something that's really easy to carry with you, this is the ticket.
Now, let me ask you a question. Why not just have a container and pour your 8-ounce glass of water in it and have it swell up outside? Why?
Because you're not going to be able to drink it like that. Try it.
Oh, it'd be a mush, right?
Yeah.
You
I mean,
you could do that.
You could do it. But
That's what
what
I'm
you
asking.
What you can also do with this is if you've got a bowl, you can take and put some water in it and cook it like a mush and eat it that way too.
well, that's
Yeah, but I wouldn't do it ahead of time because it swells up almost into a gel.
Oh.
So
okay.
you're not going to be able to do it that way.
Well, this is really fascinating.
This is something you have to be very careful with, though. And you can put enough sugar in there to your taste. As I'm roasting these things or parching the corn, I add a little tiny bit of salt.
Yeah.
And so anyway,
I could see this being the basis for a stew or a mush or a soup.
Yeah,
sure,
absolutely.
it's a great thickener.
Yeah, yeah.
and then we add all the wild plants to get all the nutritional value out of the wild plants. Wow, this is great.
But it's a great basic food to carry with you. It's really easy to do, and it's something you don't read about. And you don't, like we said, you don't have to take and buy all these expensive trail foods. You don't need it. This is very easy to do. I'll make up a little bit of this ahead of time, and I'll put it in this pouch. And as you can see, you know, the other corn here is in this pouch, the parched corn, unprocessed. And you're good to go. It doesn't take up any room.
I think the big question that everyone's going to have is where can I get a pouch like Dude's?
That's a good.
Well, you know
Good
something?
question.
If you email Christopher, he'll sell you these
I will?
for like $80.
$80, folks. Okay.
Yeah, and he'll make them.
And he'll make them.
I will, huh?
Yeah.
How long will that store like that, dude?
I've had some parched corn that I've stored for 5 or 6 years.
Really?
5 or 6 years.
Okay.
It's still palatable.
Yeah.
This is good.
Very good information. Great.
Very
I'm
good.
Alan Halcon, Dude McLean, Christopher Niergish. We'll see you next time on DirtTime.com.
Keep checking your 6.
That was good.